Hello, and welcome to our session, How Going Local Made Anheuser-Busch InBev the Toast of Towns Around the World. I'm Andrew Greisman, Digital Content Manager with WBR Insights and Digital Food and Bev, and I'm joined today by Daniel Ingram, who's the Global Director of Trade Innovation at AB InBev, as well as Talia Wachtel, who's the VP of Client Management at Tiger Pistol. So Talia, I'll pass it over to you to begin us on our presentation. Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks, Andrew, and hi, everyone. I'm really excited to be speaking at this virtual event today. As Andrew mentioned, I am the VP of Client Management at Tiger Pistol. For over a decade, I've been working with national and global brands to generate meaningful results from digital marketing with a focus on Facebook advertising. Super excited to get into this today, but first I'll let Dan introduce himself.
Thank you, Talia. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Ingram. I'm the Global Director of Trade Innovation at AB InBev. I'm responsible for developing and deploying new solutions from digital to hardware to enhance consumer experience, strengthen our partnership with customers, and ultimately drive sales. I'm also thrilled to be here to speak about our work to bring social media advertising as a service and value driver for customers all around the world.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. So, today, just to set everyone up for what we're going to be sharing with you, we will be sharing how ABI supports their local network of restaurants and bars in driving sales. Previous to 2020, it was all about driving foot traffic into these locations for on-premise sales. But today, obviously, things have greatly changed due to the coronavirus pandemic. So we'll also make sure to discuss how ABI pivoted their strategy using Tiger Pistol's technology to do so. But to set the scene, the partnership between ABI and Tiger Pistol started in 2018 when ABI recognized the need to evolve how they were marketing their beer brands. They needed an easy and cost-effective way to leverage local bars and restaurants to spread awareness of their brands. ABI naturally turned to Facebook and the Facebook family of apps to achieve this goal. It makes complete sense. You know, today Facebook has over 3 billion people using their family of apps each month, and it's the world's third most visited website, with 74% of users logging in daily. So I'm not surprised that ABI turned to Facebook to use as a channel for this strategy. Since 2018, we've launched tens of thousands of campaigns for local points of consumption across the globe, driving local relevance through hyper-targeted ad campaigns that run off local Facebook pages. I will mention before we kind of switch to the next slide, we do have a Q&A widget, so please do ask questions. We will endeavour to get to all those questions at the end of the session, and if not, we will follow up personally with all of you. But so to kind of go through this now, Dan, can you share why this was important for ABI, this global to local strategy, and why it was equally important to find a technology that enabled you to do this at scale?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our customers, meaning bars, restaurants, small and large retail shops, are absolutely essential for connecting our products with our consumers. And so while AB InBev is a global company, these connections must happen at the local level because beer, with its rich history and traditions, is truly a local product. And building off what you said, Talia, you know, turning to Facebook to help us do this was also an obvious choice. You know, Facebook has high penetration among consumers and is also, we have found, to be a key channel for consumer decision-making and purchasing, especially when it comes to local bars and retailers. And so when you see, again, we activating locally, but we are truly a global company. And so we have run campaigns through Facebook and Tiger Pistol all around the world, from South Africa to Canada, from Brazil to Belgium. So we're truly putting the tool and our own global scale to work.
That's super helpful, Dan. And again, it all makes complete sense. I think what would be helpful for everyone to see now is what we were actually doing in 2019 and the latter half of 2018. And kind of, if you can talk to us, take a minute to talk to us about some of the campaigns that were run and kind of the different goals of those campaigns.
Yeah, absolutely, Talia. And so when we talk about meaningful ads, we are talking about campaigns that will truly drive consumer behavior, especially for our own network of bars and restaurants all around the world. And so when we looked for 2019, we're very much focused on advertising events, contests, food and beverage pairings at our local bars and restaurants. Foot traffic was also a huge driver of work here. And so in each of these ads, we ensured that we had strong call to actions, especially things like get directions to drive local behavior and drive sales to those bars. Another example that we can give is last year when we were first scaling up this program in our market in Brazil, we focused on the Copa America soccer tournament. Now, Copa America is a huge partner of AB InBev, and it was also a large trade program that was going to be activated across the digital and physical space. But what Project Multiplier and our partnership with Facebook and Tiger Pistol allowed us to do was to deploy over 500 local ads through our local bars and restaurants that serve our beers. We're also able to quickly update these creatives and update the call to action to really be hyper relevant at the moment that it mattered when consumers were deciding where to go to enjoy our products. And the results were really fantastic. We were 75% more cost effective than previous national equity campaigns. We had over 7 million impressions. We reached nearly 2 million people. And so from this activation in Brazil, we truly learned that this had legs and this could be scaled across Brazil and elsewhere.
That's so cool, and I remember that campaign, and it was really successful. I think what's awesome as well to see here, especially for the audience today, is that you can still have quality ads regardless of scale. Obviously, ABI has huge scale in the number of campaigns they were publishing and the different local outlets that they were publishing for, but we can see that the imagery is still really beautiful and the copy is direct and it makes sense because we were able to marry our technology with what you were doing nationally and put that at a local level to truly drive thumb-stopping ads, which is so cool. You know, I mentioned at the start of this, obviously things have changed a lot this year. You know, COVID-19 has been a huge game changer for every brand, every business, really the entire world. It's changed the way consumers purchase. It's changed the way brands market their products for those consumers to purchase. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger were already important parts of our lives prior to that pandemic, but they've now become a critical way for us to stay connected with the world around us. In the midst of the crisis, Facebook truly has reinstated their role in keeping us all connected and informed. Personally, I'm a clear example of this. As an Australian expat, you can probably hear my accent. Living in the US, my usage of these apps has skyrocketed in an effort to maintain connection with my family and friends back home, but also locally too. I'm spending more and more time on Facebook and Instagram than I ever have before because I really feel the need to stay connected to what's happening outside of the four walls that I live in, which I think gives brands a really big opportunity by way of marketing. In terms of ad dollars and the impact COVID-19 has had on that, the natural reaction was for brands to pull back spend. But those that kept advertising actually enjoyed significantly decreased costs of advertising on Facebook, with CPMs decreasing by up to 50% in some countries. As markets start to reopen, so too do brands and their wallets, and now we're slowly seeing those CPMs increase back up to what they were before the pandemic. Everyone listening on this knows the catastrophic impact the virus has had on the hospitality industry. According to Statista, the year-over-year decline of seated patrons in restaurants worldwide reached a staggering 100% decline by early May. Even though at-home consumption has increased, it is unlikely to cover the cost of lost sales, even once the situation normalizes. In another survey, 32% of consumers said they plan to eat at restaurants less often due to COVID-19 concerns. The impact has been devastating, with local establishments needing significant help to survive the crisis. In one other survey, 33% of operators cited that they needed help communicating their establishment status, whether they be open, closed, open for delivery or curbside pickup. So it shows the need for brands, big brands such as ABI, to really connect with their network and support them in navigating the course of this pandemic. it's really clear that, especially and unfortunately in the US, the virus is not going anywhere. So Dan, can you talk us through what your response was at ABI?
Yeah, absolutely, Talia. As I said before, the small bars, restaurants, pubs, all retail stores all around the world are truly the lifeblood of our brands and of our business. If they fail, we fail as well. And so when this crisis hit, we had somewhat of a warning of this because we are very active as a business in Asia Pacific. And so we already started planning in January and February for this crisis to expand all around the world. One of the big programs that we launched was called the Safe Pub Life Initiative. What this was us putting our scale, our dollars, and our brand power to work on behalf of our local bars and restaurants all around the world. The basic mechanics of this program were to encourage consumers to purchase vouchers for a future beer at their favorite local pub. So they'd log on to our website. We had local websites in over a dozen countries all around the world. Consumers could find their local pub, purchase maybe a $20 voucher to that pub, and we would, as AB InBev, match that voucher purchase and then give that money to the pubs today. And the idea of this was to not only help small bars and restaurants through this crisis with cash flow, but also would help encourage consumers after the crisis was over to return to the on-trade, return to these bars and restaurants, and make a purchase and redeem those vouchers. And so this program was a huge effort by our company all around the world. But what we found, and Talia, you hit upon this, was only about 30% of the pubs and restaurants participating in this program were receiving any meaningful donations from consumers. And so we had an insight fairly early on that we not only needed to help these bars and restaurants with the platform, we also needed to help them communicate that they were participating in this program to their local consumers. And so we very quickly adapted our own plans in partnership with Facebook and Tiger Pistol to run social advertising from the social pages of these POCs to their local consumers, encouraging consumers to participate, buy vouchers, and then eventually return to those pubs and restaurants when the crisis was over. I think at this moment it reminds me, of AB InBev's mission statement, which is bringing people together for a better world. And what we mean by that is we know that when consumers are connected to each other, when they're enjoying life over one of our brands, it makes the world a better place. And so in response to coronavirus, we needed to deliver immediate value to help our customers so that they could survive the crisis and be there for our consumers when the crisis was over.
Thanks, Dan. It's amazing what you've been able to achieve. I put some of it in part to our technology that helped you achieve it. So I thought it might be a good kind of discussion point for the audience to see how we did it. So what you're seeing here is onboarding. So the way we've done this with ABI for many years. It's the same technology that we've always used, but what we're showing you is what we've done now for the pivot for coronavirus. Each local establishment receives an email saying, hey, you can be part of this program. They have a really easy way to connect their Facebook page. We obviously need their Facebook page to be able to run these ads. We are of the mindset at Tiger Pistol that when you can run a beautiful ad on a local page, it will enhance relevance for that local consumer. So we always ask that local establishment to connect their Facebook page so that then we can run the campaign on their behalf. Prior to the pandemic, we were actually using a sales tool where the ABI sales reps would go in, as they usually do, to sell their beer to these local establishments. And one of the things that they could also sell was this concept of Facebook ads, so that the business owner could simply sign up on the spot. But of course, with the pandemic, foot traffic and driving people in stores is no longer as relevant. So we're using these emails instead. Once we've got the establishment connected, it's all about distributing these brand campaigns. So we've developed technology which has been in market for several years now, where you can essentially create a beautiful brand template with a meaningful goal and distribute it to thousands of local establishments in minutes. And this greatly helped ABI to be able to achieve what they did so quickly, because if you were to set up something like this manually on behalf of each different business, it would take you weeks, if not months, whereas our technology is purpose-built to do that. So ABI was easily able to kind of leverage that technology and publish these ads locally at scale with the high quality that they had already produced with this creative. So I am assuming that people want to find out a little bit more about the campaigns that we published. So Dan, do you want to just provide more of an overview outside of the Safe Pub Life, maybe what we were doing in market?
Yeah, absolutely, Talia. So as you mentioned, in previous years in 2019, we were very much focused on foot traffic, driving people to the pub, because we knew that a person going to a pub, even if their intention was just to buy one beer, they would buy a beer, they would buy a burger. And so this would enhance sales not only for us, but for our consumers. And also for our customers. Obviously, once coronavirus hit, we had to pivot very, very quickly. And so we broke our campaigns into two big buckets with the mission of delivering immediate value to our customers. And so we already spoke about the Safe Pub Life program. And so one of those two pillars was amplifying the Safe Pub Life program to consumers to help with donations. The other big pillar was adapting to how sales were shifting. And so we have seen over several years that online sales through e-commerce, whether it's delivery or takeout, have been increasing. And what coronavirus did was accelerate that trend by 5 to 10 years. And so we immediately pivoted and started running campaigns focused on promoting these new e-commerce and takeout options for both retail and bars and restaurants. And so what a lot of bars and restaurants started to do is either offer delivery of their products through established services like Uber Eats or Rappi, or our own delivery service, the Delivery in Brazil. But also a lot of these very, frankly, small bars and restaurants couldn't adapt that quickly, and so we're simply even just taking orders over the phone. And so a lot of our campaigns, again, simple is sometimes better, would simply just push a consumer, promote the fact that this bar or restaurant, their local bar and restaurant, was offering takeout and delivery, and the call to action would be simply to call. And so our guiding mantra was, let's be simple, let's focus on what the customers need today, and focus on what consumers are going to do about these shifting trends. And so we ran campaigns primarily in Brazil, Canada, and Europe, focused on these two pillars, and they've had amazing results.
Great. Well, if they've had amazing results, I'm sure everyone wants to see what's going on. So let's talk them through that.
Yeah, absolutely, Talia. So we obviously look at a few different dimensions when we think about results. So, of course, as we've shifted to online sales, in many cases, we could start measuring the return on our ad spend through Facebook pixels and Facebook conversions. And so in Canada, we ran a campaign with one of our key account chains, and we saw the customer return on ad spend nearly 8x, which is absolutely incredible. In Canada, we had over 120 impressions. I believe that number is even higher today as we continue to run these campaigns. So really great results in our market in Canada, not only on the financials, but also on helping us develop stronger relationships with these retail and on-premise customers. In Belgium, we had an ROI of our Safe Pub Life program of over 2x. We drove essentially double the number of donations than the media we put into it, and over 10 million impressions. In Brazil, which is by far our largest market for this program, we ran a lot of e-commerce campaigns. We saw 20% uplift in orders by simply advertising to the consumers that these programs were available, and impressions nearly 900 million. And then finally, Italy, a brand new market for us for this program. Because of coronavirus, a lot of other markets, including Italy, were onboarded with the help of the Tiger Pistol team to help onboard their POCs, their bars and restaurants. And we're already seeing in even just a few weeks of operating in Italy, over 2 million impressions. What this all adds up to are a few key takeaways. One, globally on this program year to date, we've had nearly 1 billion impressions for this project, which is incredible. Not only does that drive consumer actions, whether it's buying online or making a donation, but it also helps us build the brand of not only our products, but also build the brands of these bars and restaurants, because that's where the ads are coming from. And then that leads me to my second takeaway, which is this program not only results in higher sales, higher conversions, but it also allows us to build stronger, more longer-lasting bonds with our customers, because we are not only providing them products to sell, we're providing them a truly value-added service that no other company can offer.
That's great to see, and we're excited to be on this journey with you, Dan, and to continue kind of tracking the progress of these campaigns. I will just say, you know, for everyone listening, you don't need to take mine and Dan's word for it. We have been recognised in the industry for what we've done with ABI. These are the awards that we've actually won with what we've done locally to help these kind of local establishments and their Facebook ads on behalf of ABI and their beer brands. So that's been pretty amazing over the last 12 months to receive so many awards for this. I'm just going to close up by saying for many years at Tiger Pistol, we've always pushed our clients to take a local approach to advertising, taking national strategies and deploying them locally to drive relevance in the eye of the consumer. Just like how we've supported ABI, we're working with many brands to help them navigate the course that's in front of them. My CEO often uses an analogy of a racetrack, especially when he's describing the pandemic and how that impacts brands, how you enter the turn, what you do while you're in the turn, and what you do once you're out of the turn all require different strategies to help achieve the end goal. At Tiger Pistol, we continue to evaluate day by day how to better equip our clients with the right strategy to handle each different stage. I'm more than happy to speak to anyone listening about this. If they're interested in learning more, just reach out to me on LinkedIn. On behalf of myself and Dan, we really appreciate you joining today, and we'll see now if there's any questions. So, Dan, one of the questions is, why doesn't ABI use Facebook directly versus using the platform that you've described?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's worth saying that we do use Facebook directly. We're probably one of the largest partners of Facebook when we run national equity campaigns, as an example. But this project that we've partnered with Facebook and Tiger Pistol on is a very different use case, where we provide social media as a service for POCs to drive sales and to strengthen our relationships with them. And so to do that, to better partner with our POCs and ultimately to drive local actions of consumers, we needed a technology like Tiger Pistol to deploy not only local ads, but ads that were based from the local bar and restaurants' own Facebook accounts. And so achieving that goal, but also doing it at a truly global scale, would not be possible if we were just working with Facebook alone.
That's helpful. And we've actually got another question that kind of falls off the back of that. So why does AB InBev partner with the local establishments versus just running DMA campaigns in each region?
Yeah, I mean, as I've said, our customers, again, your local bar, your local restaurant, small and large retail, are truly the lifeblood of our business. We cannot succeed if our customers are not succeeding. They are not only the logistical path for our products to reach consumers, but more importantly, that's where our brands come to life. We cannot survive without them. And so we try our very best in each of our markets to partner very closely with our customers, work together as a team to bring our brands to life and deliver them to our consumers. And so providing, not only doing social media for a large equity campaign, which again, we do, but to also provide social media as a service for these bars and restaurants and retail shops is a truly value add, not just for them. And of course it is for them because the ad is coming from their page to consumers geographically located near them. But it's also a value add for us because it helps them survive, but it also makes that advertising more relevant for consumers.
Awesome. We've got another question which always gets asked. What's with the lobster in the slide that you're seeing here? So, and I knew that was coming. It's actually a tiger pistol shrimp. The tiger pistol shrimp is the loudest animal in the ocean relative to its size. It's got this big claw, which you can see, and that claw actually makes a sonic boom. It's our mascot because our company has always helped those with smaller or fragmented budgets make disproportionately loud sounds in the marketplace. Essentially what we're saying is, and this is it's a small shrimp, you don't need to be big to make a lot of noise. And I think that's proof with what we've done with ABI. While ABI is big, their local establishments are not. And we are helping them make a lot of noise on social. With that, I'm going to close out. I can see there's other questions coming through. We do appreciate it. We will follow up with you via email and make sure that we get back to all of you. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you so much.